Hey y'all, and welcome back. So the topic in today's videos is, what is the worst date you've ever been on? The title of the first story is That One Date I Knew I Should Have Never Gone On. I used to work at this massive government facility doing hands-on blue-collar work. I was pretty laid back, drove a bright red muscle car, and got along with just about everyone. There was this woman there, hard not to notice. She had this bold presence, dressed to turn heads, definitely attractive in a flashy kind of way. Not exactly my type, but she had a curious charm that made me want to get to know her. One day after work, we were parked near each other and she walked over to chat, mostly about my car. We ended up talking for a bit and I decided to ask her out. Fast forward to a warm, sunny evening. I'm driving way out into the sticks to pick her up. Her place? It was rough. A beat-up concrete block house with a few rusted-out cars scattered in the backyard. No grass, just dirt and dust. A chained-up dog barked like it hadn't eaten in a week. I pulled in, unsure if I was in the right place. When a shirtless guy walked up to my window, another guy stood in the doorway, smoking like it was a full-time job. The guy at my car leaned in and started asking about it. Said it was cool, even if it wasn't a Chevy. He reeked of sweat, beer, and smoke. After a few minutes of awkward small talk, he said, "She'll be out in a minute. Come on in." And when he turned around, I saw a handgun tucked into the back of his waistband. Inside wasn't much better. The living room had a busted couch, a folding chair, and a couple of cardboard boxes posing as tables. The boxes stacked with liquor bottles and overflowing ashtrays. I stood there stiffly, wondering what I got myself into. When she finally came out, tight shirt, ultra short skirt, makeup done like she was heading to a club. She stood next to the guy I assumed was her brother and told him she'll be back later. He laughed, reached up her skirt in front of me, and she giggled like it was nothing. We got into my car and started heading towards town. I turned left out of instinct, but she quickly panicked and said, "No, not that way. We can get there another way." I looked at her, confused, and said, "That's the fastest route." She said, "Yeah, but people down that hill don't like us. If they see me, they might try something, maybe even shoot at us." We took the long way. The rest of the ride was dead quiet, aside from a few words about my car. At one point, she asked me to floor it, just to see what it could do. So I did it. Hit a long stretch of road and showed her what the engine could pull. She smiled. Then it was quiet again. Eventually, I glanced over and said, "This isn't really going anywhere, is it?" She looked out the window and said, "Probably not." Okay, y'all, that story was something else. Not another man done pulled up the skirt and was touching her. It sounded like this girl already had a man. But anyway, next story time. The title of this story is Why That First Date Was Also the Last. So, I met this guy on a dating app. We agreed to meet up at his cozy little cafe. One I actually recommended because it's in my hometown. I've been going there for years. The first thing he says when I walk in, "Did you get lost or something?" No, I literally grew up here. I picked the place. But apparently that didn't matter. For the rest of the date, he kept teasing me like I had no sense of direction, cracking jokes about me probably needing my GPS to find my own kitchen, which is wild because I actually have a great sense of direction. Then the conversation shifts to food. He starts describing all these odd dishes from his home country, stuff that's definitely not your average takeout menu, and asks if I'd be too squeamish to try them. I tell him, actually, my grandparents are Chinese. I've eaten everything from chicken feet to fish heads. The only thing I couldn't do was the congealed pig's blood. But he just keeps going, acting like I've screamed at the sight of a chicken head. Like, dude, I just told you I grew up on the real deal, but sure, go off. Later, I tell him I'm into hiking and camping. Outdoorsy stuff. He looks at me and goes, "Really? You don't look like someone who can handle that." Then proceeds to joke about how I probably hate dirt and can't survive without hair products. And it even gets weirder. He starts talking about his pet ducklings and keeps making jokes like, "You're probably the kind of girl who tried to turn them into dinner." I thought he was kidding at first, but he just kept bringing it up over and over like some kind of poultry-based paranoia. The date finally ends. I head home thinking, wow, that was something. A few hours later, he texts me saying he really enjoyed getting to to know me and asks if I want to go out again. Let's just say that cafe doesn't take reservations for second chances. I'm with her on that one. That man sounds like he's a creep. Anyway.